The Burdge Law Office specializes in RV lemon law nationwide. The following is not legal advice. For additional information, see rvlemonlaw.com.
The RV Show USA. Start living the RV dream today.
So nobody likes to be pushed around, right? That's not just you and me, the RV owner, who needs service work or warranty work performed, but the service manager doesn't want to be pushed around by some overly aggressive customer at the dealer. So what is the best approach when you do take your RV back in for repairs? Our badass RV lemon lawyer, Ron Burdge, has some suggestions on that very subject. Is it reasonable to ask for a window of time, how long it's going to take for a repair to be made? I mean, it's going to take a week, it's going to be 6 months, or they don't even want to go down that road. Is that reasonable for me as a consumer to ask an estimated repair time, length of repair time?
Yes, it absolutely is. Think about it this way. If you take your car into the repair shop, you want to know how long they're going to have it, and they can actually tell you most of the time. If you take your RV into the repair shop, you still want to know about how long it's going to be out of service, so you should ask. Now, you might get a little bit of a song and dance because we don't know this, or it depends on how long it takes. We got to go through this procedure and whatever else. But try to pin them down on some outside number, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. Get something from them, even if all they do is say, don't know for sure, but probably maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. And then make a note of that when you go home, that they said 2 or 3 weeks. And if you're going to make a note of it, you got to be able to know who it was that said it. So either get a business card or get a name so that you know. This is one of those Murphy's Law things, Alan. As sure as you do it, everything will get taken care of. As sure as you don't, you'll wish you did.
What about exclusions? I have heard there's a lot of fine print in RV warranties, or at least in some of them. What about exclusions and making a claim and they go, you were a full-time RVer, or talk to me about exclusions and the importance of me maybe pulling out that warranty, even if I don't have an issue, just to know what it covers and what it doesn't cover.
Yeah, and actually, Alan, the time to pull out that warranty and figure out what it does and doesn't cover is before you buy the RV. You need to know as soon as you're thinking about getting that RV, what's really going to cover you and what is not. Because quite often than not, there's a lot of problems with RV warranties. They don't give you anything. RV warranties take away what you otherwise would get. You would get more of warranty rights if you didn't have that written warranty. That written warranty exists to take away legal rights. So when you start looking through it and you start looking at what it says in detail, then you can see it doesn't cover this, it doesn't cover that. It requires you to do some things that you might not have been thinking about doing too, such as that written notice to the factory I was talking about for every single problem you have. So you need to know what it's really going to cover. And then when they start saying it isn't covered by this, that, or the other thing, then double check them. Don't take their word for it. They may well tell you that something is not covered, which in fact really is covered. They just don't really want to cover it.
Did I hear you say that it would be better off without a written warranty, that the warranty is there to take away my rights?
Absolutely. And that is one of the distinguishing things about RV company warranties as opposed to other warranties you might buy or get with other consumer products. But when you look at what the warranty is, there are more things being taken out of it. In fact, if you look at any RV warranty and start going through it, there are very few of them where actually they give you more legal rights than what you would have if you didn't have that thing. Instead, what you would have is a 4-year implied warranty of merchantability. And you don't get that with most of these. And in fact, that's really the problem, because in those warranties, they have clauses, exclusions, requirements, take away legal rights. And a good example that is in a whole lot of them is the jurisdiction clause. The jurisdiction clause that basically says if you have a problem and you want to bring a claim, you got to go to Indiana to do it. Even if you bought the RV in Washington or Alaska or Hawaii or wherever, it doesn't make any difference. And that is where one of the problems is, and that's probably the worst example. But another one is the last chance to repair. Suppose you had it in the shop for 2 months, 3 months, trying to get things fixed, never did get fixed. So you write your nasty letter off to the factory, and they tell you, okay, now we want a chance to repair it too, even though you've been months without it and such. Got to look at that warranty and see whether or not that's really in there and whether they have a right to demand it, or if you have a right to say, no, I'm fed up.
And if they have a right to demand it, they may demand that you bring it to them in Indiana. That's what I've heard.
Right. And if you're in Alaska,
such a deal.
Yeah, you could have a couple 1,000-mile tow bill on your hands to do that. And is that going to be worth it for what the problem is? Maybe not.
There's so much great information here. I can't tell you how many times over the years people have told me that they never read their warranty. They didn't even keep a diary. They meant to. They just didn't do it. Guess what? And things went to hell. To me, the big takeaway here is knowing your rights and your responsibilities and understanding the manufacturer's rights and responsibilities. Pull out your warranty, pull it out, read it, understand it thoroughly. If some salesperson tells you something where your antenna goes up like, oh yeah, it's fine for full-time RV living, get it in writing. As always, if you think you may have a Lemon RV, you can get a free evaluation. Just click on the link below. Thanks to our badass RV Lemon lawyer, Ron Burdge, for helping make us a whole lot smarter. I'm Alan Warren, the RV Wingman. I'll see you next time.